long were you married?
I'm not sure. I don't think about that too much, unfortunately. I bid 13 years, 11 to 13 years.
And then from that time that ended, and that was just kind of a mutual split, you presumably had some time before you met the gal that actually prompted you to log on to So You've Been Dumped.
I don't know. It wasn't that long, maybe 4, 5, 6 months.
From the time
like
your
that.
marriage ended to when you started something new?
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Jumped right into it.
Right, okay. Speed rebound, as I call it. How long were you with the subsequent relationship?
About 3 years.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And tell me how it ended.
It ended sort of abruptly in one sense because she had called me one morning, a Saturday morning, and said, I need space. So we had lived together about 1 year and 5 months. She had moved back for various reasons. She gave at least 4 to 6 reasons why she was doing that.
Okay. And then when she says, I need space, how did you take that?
I said to her, you're kidding, right? You've got to be kidding, because we had always been close. Even after she moved back, we were constantly phoning each other, texting, email, all the time, to the point where we knew where each other was just about 24/7. So it was like, I said to her, you're kidding, you're joking, right? And then she said, no. And then I knew, wow, something had happened. And then she said, it's just that I had such a good time last night. And it just said a lot, because I knew she was out with her friends and dancing. And actually I said to her, okay. I said, I have to go now. And I hung up.
Is that because you were upset?
Yes. And I wanted to process it. I was like, I didn't see this coming. I felt totally blindsided. I immediately called her back after probably not even more than a minute, and she answered,
Why did you call back?
Just to reconnect. I thought that she might call me back. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock. And we ended up speaking all that weekend, and I never brought it back up, and neither did she. So I was hoping it was just a little blip or something. And then she called me sometime in the middle of the day, Monday, to say she's going home from work because she was ill. Now I look back and I think, I wonder if she was ill because these decisions she was making, because she was very prone to getting physical after an emotional issue or decision. And I pretty much stayed on the phone with her, even though I was working here and there, for a day and a half, nursing her through when she was in the bathroom, vomiting and everything, and saying, you can do it, and, you'll be better in a little bit, and I love you. And I thought, whew, I'm barely squeaking,
okay
but yeah, I was hoping. I wonder, but I didn't bring anything up. When I knew was Wednesday, I called her in the morning and she did answer. And I was driving home from a job site. I had maybe 200 miles to drive, and I just knew something was wrong. Then she finally called me back in the middle of the day, and she said, here's the deal. I'm breaking the engagement. Because that Saturday I did ask her, I said, well, what do you mean you need space? Does that mean you're breaking off the engagement? And she said, quote unquote, I don't know.
So say the breakup happened in May. You're 6 months or something out of it, ballpark. So it's still fairly early days yet. But have you noticed some of the good things starting to happen as a result of the breakup yet?
I started counseling. All I knew is that I have to improve myself. Whether I get her back or have another relationship in the future, I have to improve myself somewhere. And I have to just do something so I'm not in this state anymore. It's very uncomfortable. I just had to improve, and I had to just learn about myself and just move on. And it was very, very painful.
What have you done to improve yourself?
Few things. I tried to understand what happened. I went through counseling. I called a lot of friends that I haven't spoken with for a long time to kind of reconnect. My family members too. I hadn't been in contact with one of my sisters for quite a few years, so I called her. I called her because it was a part of the therapy, digging deep into my family, and I knew she had some answers that I didn't know, so I called her on that basis, and it was really great. It was really nice connecting to these people, and all of them were really receptive to whatever I had to say.
Have you made any new friends as a result of the breakup?
Yeah, I've met a lot of friends. Yes, all of them, I think, through the site. And also just getting out and being single, too. trying to make myself just available and friendly and open, and I've made new friends that way as well. It's been an important site for me. It's really helped. It hasn't solved or cured anything, but I don't think that's the answer. I think it's just to help you get along.
How has it helped you?
It helps you because you realize, A, that there's other people going through something similar, so that there's a comfort level there. Not that you like to see other people going through what you're going through and the pain and everything, but you realize that there is a community of people and that you immediately have something to share with them, or they can share with you. You can pick up pointers. I never posted my story, but I like to read others and kind of put out, my 2 cents worth. And sometimes it was nothing more than just like, I understand what you're going through and best of luck to you. That's all I could say. I had no answers, but I just wanted them to know that, you know what, here's somebody that probably thousands of miles from where you are that understand what you're going through. I feel it too. It's bad. We feel terrible, but I'm out there. And that's my only point I wanted to make. And that will make a person at least feel a hair better, but a hair closer to recovery and getting better. Because I've seen people wanting to get better, and I've seen people be bitter and angry at their former mates, or just angry at the world, and what I think ultimately is angry at themselves as well. But not everybody knows that. But I think whatever they're going through, it's a process to recovery, as long as, they're somewhat healthy and they want to eventually recover. But I think basically anybody that's somewhat healthy and knows what's best for themselves, they know down deep that they do have to kind of move on, and it's a recovery process. But we all have to kind of go through our own little walks. It can be hard to judge too. But I think most people do want to move on and know that it's best for their life to move on. Even though you realize that, you know what, I have to move on. I have to start at least making baby steps, but you're still crying inside. It's not easy. Just because you've made the decision, hey, I have to get healthier and I have to recover, and there's these steps I have to make, it doesn't make it any easier to leave that person. Even though they've left you, it's still a hard walk no matter what. Being somebody that was left behind, I really don't, the contact is too painful. As much as I want to know what she's doing and what's going on, at the same token, if I did know what was going on and what she's doing, that would be painful too. I think for me anyway, it's best just not to have any contact and not know. It's time for me to move on. Go about that fighting and dragging sometimes, but you have to. Well, you can get fooled too. You can fool yourself that, hey, she's coming around or he's coming around, and it's probably not so. Then you go back 2 or 3, 4 months, and you're repeating. So for me, it's best that we just sever the relationship and then move on. Very difficult, but I think, I don't want to know all these details, that sort of thing. And I guess, they cease to be your friends too. But then that gets into something where you're either friends or lovers, and, a good team, a good man and woman or whoever, partnership, you think, oh, they're my lovers or my best friends. But at a certain point, I don't know, you can't be friends afterwards. Doesn't seem to work for me. Not that I have had an opportunity, but just kind of visualizing it wouldn't be good, don't think. I'm starting to appreciate life again and appreciate just what's offered and the ease of being alone. But I think eventually, I have to learn a few things, I think. But yeah, I think I would eventually like to be with somebody, if it was a good relationship. Very healthy. I felt good about it, and she felt good about it. Yeah, I think it would be great.
What positive things have you taken away from the relationship with her?
I think humor, there's a level of relating that you can only do with somebody very close, a partner. There's an intellectual level that you connect with. There's interests. It's, it's almost mind-boggling when you have somebody that you care so much for, what you can share. But I think also, if I ever get the opportunity, I'm going to be able to experience the high and realize it more because I hit low. So I think as a measuring stick, kind of, you can appreciate the high more if you've had some low. It's a kind of a horrible lesson, but nevertheless, you're going through it, so you've got to grasp a hold of some things that you can learn about and try to improve yourself. And I think that I was very hurt. So if I meet somebody in the future, I'm going to really be able to know if things are good. I'm just looking for positive things. You know, it's such a negative thing to happen, and you hurt so much. And on the site, I've seen so many people log on that are hurt, you know, whether it's just today or, 3 months ago or a year ago. It's horrible. And the only place I can go to is just to turn around and move on. And it's so difficult, but you just really, there's no alternative. What is the alternative? To be stuck there? That doesn't seem so good either. So I try every kind of little inch to find something good and positive that I can at least grasp a hold of. And that's all I'm trying to do. As somebody that has been feeling better and moving along in the process, sometimes you're careful you don't want to gloat either. No. And you don't want to be this Mr. or Mrs. Know-it-all, I've been through that, and this is what's going to happen to you, because that's no good advice either. They're probably at the worst of it at the moment, and you just sitting there saying you're going to get through it. What kind of advice is that? Of course, they probably intellectually know one day they will get through it. But, right now it hurts like hell. And I just want some compassion or a shoulder or just to vent. So I'm also weary, with somebody coming back after a while and saying, well, this is the steps. So follow these steps and you'll be okay. Well, that's great to read and it's inspirational. But when somebody's at their worst, I don't think it's so helpful. It's the site, it's my own attitude. Counseling helped, reading books. I read a lot of self-help kind of books and other type of books. Talking to friends, talking to family members, posting on the site. I understand what you're going through. I'm here. I've been through that. It hurts like hell. This is the worst kind of pain that you could probably experience. I take more kind of that approach. But no, contact is very important too. And I wish I had known that earlier, but I didn't find the site until later. And I just sometimes wonder about that. Would I have paid attention to those rules and abound by those rules? And would it have helped? Or don't know. But it seems like I would have had more control somehow. I would have felt better, I think.